Now we'll see the mechanism of action of local anesthetics. Okay. Now since the main action, or you can say the main aim of these local anesthetics are to inhibit the conduction and generation of nerve impulses, means obviously it has got a role in the action potential, or you can say they mainly act by inhibiting action potential, isn't it? So first of all we'll see a normal physiology what happens, and then we'll see that how these local anesthetics will interfere with the normal physiological action. Okay, now suppose this is some kind of neuron. Okay, and when this neuron is normally, when it is not still stimulated, now suppose this neuron is under resting stage, at that resting stage these neurons will be having a resting membrane potential of minus 70 millivolt. Okay, now suppose this neuron is stimulated. After stimulation it causes opening of mechanical gated sodium channel, because of which there will be influx of sodium ion. Okay, when there is influx of sodium ion there will be some changes in the potential of this neuron, and when that changes is nearly minus 60 millivolt, means it is a threshold potential of this particular neuron. Once this neuron attains a threshold potential, it will cause opening of voltage gated sodium channel. Okay, so a typical voltage gated sodium channel will be something like this, as you can see. Okay, normally at resting stage this sodium channel will be at a resting condition. Okay, and once threshold potential is been achieved, this voltage gated sodium channel will achieve an activation stage. Okay, an active state. Okay, now what is the property of resting stage? Okay, normally these voltage gated sodium channel will be having two gates. Okay, one is activation gate and another one is inactivation gate. Okay, now we are talking about at the resting stage of the voltage gated sodium channel. Okay, resting stage means the stage when still there wasn't any influx of sodium ion via the mechanical gated sodium channel. Okay, at the resting membrane potential, that is at minus 70 millivolt, the condition of these voltage gated sodium channel is like this: the activation gate will be closed and the inactivation gate will be open. Okay, the activation gate it present extracellularly and the inactivation gate is present intracellularly, and this is your plasma membrane. Okay, you can see in red color. Okay, this is the situation at resting stage. Now when this particular neuron was stimulated, it causes entry of sodium ion via mechanical gated sodium channel, and suppose this entry was that much sufficient that it shifted the resting membrane potential to threshold potential. When threshold potential is achieved, the sodium channel which was at resting stage is now shifted to active state. Okay, in active state these sodium channel will be having both activation as well as inactivation gates open. Okay, this is the condition of the stage of the voltage gated sodium channel when threshold potential was been achieved. Okay, now when these sodium channel are active, what it will cause? It will cause a massive influx of sodium ion. Okay, via the voltage gated sodium channel, and the entry will be so much that it will drag the membrane potential to a positive polarity. That means depolarization takes place. Okay, now once depolarization takes place, what happens? When there was entry of sodium channel, slowly it will close closing of this inactivation gate. Okay, and finally once depolarization is achieved, until that time it will cause a complete closure of this inactivation gate. Okay, when inactivation gate is closed, there won't be any entry of sodium channel, means again it will cause from depolarization to repolarization by opening of calcium and potassium channel. Okay, so we are not actually concerned with calcium and potassium channel, we are very much concerned with this voltage gated sodium channel. Okay, at the resting stage, that means whenever this neuron was at resting stage, the sodium channel will be under resting condition. Resting condition of this voltage gated sodium channel means the activation gate will be closed and the inactivation gate will be open. Okay, once this neuron achieves a threshold potential, it will cause activation of this voltage gated sodium channel. Active state means both activation as well as inactivation gate will be open. Okay, means this activation gate will be opening very much fast. Okay, and once active stage has been achieved, this inactivation gate will slowly it will be about to close. Okay, and once depolarization has been occurred, it will cause a complete closure of this inactivation state. Okay, next from the inactivation state, it should again flip back to resting state. Okay, now the time duration between inactive state to go back to resting state, this is known as a refractory period. Okay, okay, now when this voltage gradient sodium channel, and again if it wants to get active, means again it should move to resting and then it will become active and then inactive. Okay, so this is the condition, and you might be knowing what will happen because of sodium entry. Yes, depolarization occurs followed by repolarization. That means there will be a continuous movement of the action potential. Okay, because of which sensory as well as motor neurons will be working. Okay, now this is the normal physiology. Now we will see where actually these local anesthetics will produce the action. Okay, so suppose this is your local anesthetic, which are weak bases in nature. Okay, so normally when these sodium channel, what it needs to do, it will bind with its receptor, okay, which is present intracellularly. So that means these local anesthetics needs to cross this plasma membrane to bind with its receptor, isn't it? But the condition is that these local anesthetics should be an unionized form. Okay, there shouldn't be any kind of charges. Okay, and this is quite simple. You people might be knowing, whenever any substance is charged, they cannot cross the membrane, isn't it? So that's why these local anesthetics, if they are charged form, it needs to get converted into uncharged or unionized form. Okay, so this unionized form of local anesthetic can easily cross the membrane. Okay, now once it has crossed the membrane, it can bind to the receptor. Okay, but the condition is only charged form of the local anesthetics can bind, or you can say the cationic form of local anesthetics can bind with the receptor. Okay, so remember these two important things. For crossing the plasma membrane, it should be unionized form, and for binding with its receptor, it should be in ionized form. Okay, charges should be there for binding with the receptor, and uncharged form for crossing the membrane. Okay, now once it has crossed membrane, it has bound with its receptor. Okay, now binding with the receptor means it will mainly bind to the inactive form, means when the sodium channel was under inactive state. Okay, so these local anesthetics mainly binds with the receptor when most extent whenever these sodium channel, these voltage gated sodium channel are under inactive state. Okay, and what they will do, they will increase the refractory period. They will increase the refractory period, means this inactive state should go back to resting and then it will become active, isn't it? So it will take more time to get into resting state and then it will become active. So basically the main mechanism of action of these local anesthetic agents are, it will increase the refractory period of the voltage gated sodium channel. That means for a longer period of time, these voltage gated sodium channel will be under inactive state. Okay, so these local anesthetics will trap the voltage gated sodium channel under inactive state. Okay, and more time is required for flipping it back into the resting stage. So this is about the mechanism of action of your local anesthetic agents.